Hello, and welcome to Pirate News. I'm Christopher Benitez.
And I'm Ava Graves. Today we'll give you the latest from across the campus, the tri-state area, and the globe.
We'll also have your Seton Hall sports update and the 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. 4 Seton Hall diplomacy students will partake in an essay competition organized by the Atlantic Council, known as the Top Hatters. Nicole Gizzi, Joseph Lachman, Tristano Dilberto, and Alvin Oliver II will participate in the Cyber 9 to 12 Strategy Challenge, which focuses on, quote, developing policy recommendations tackling a fictional cyber catastrophe. They are coached by Professor Eric Lopez of the School of Diplomacy and International Relations. The Atlantic Council is a renowned think tank in Washington focused on helping the United States foster good relations with the nations of Western Europe. The competition will take place on March 17th and 18th.
Seton Hall University has been awarded summer undergraduate student research fellowships for undergraduate students in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. By the New Jersey Space Grant Consortium, a NASA-sponsored program, 12 fellowships will be awarded in the summer of 2023. Each will be in the amount of $2,500, including a $2,000 stipend for the student and $500 for the laboratory and computation supplies. Fellowship recipients must conduct research relevant to the STEM fields or aerospace and into the NASA missions outlined in its website. They must be full-time students at Seton Hall University conducting research under the supervision of a Seton Hall faculty member. Their research will be conducted at Seton Hall for a period of 6 weeks between June 1st and August 23rd, 2023. At the conclusion of the project, each fellowship recipient is required to write a 1,000-word report outlining the research that they have conducted. Interested students should submit their application, which is due by April 28, 2023.
Now we will send it over to Graham Marshman with your Seton Hall sports update. Graham?
Thanks, Chris. Hello, Pirates. I'm with your Seton Hall sports update, starting with the women's basketball team. The Pirates faced the Villanova Wildcats on Monday at Walsh Gymnasium. While the snow was falling outside, the shots were falling inside for the Wildcats. Seton Hall kept it closer than the previous matchup against Nova, but ended up losing the game 83-56. Azana Baines had another great game, finishing with 22 points, 5 boards, and an assist, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the Villanovas. Maddie Segrest and a company, Segrest finished the game with 32 points and 6 rebounds. Seton Hall ends the season 17-13 and 10-10 in the Big East play. 10 wins, which is good enough for 6th seed in the conference, and as a result will face Xavier in the first round of the Big East tournament. In men's basketball, the Pirates played the Villanova Wildcats at the Prudential Center last night. The Pirates would fall short in an extremely exciting game, 76-72. Standout players include 21 points from Alamir Dawes, 14 points from Femi Odekale, and Tyrese Samuel. The 9-10 Pirates will travel to Providence to play the 20th-ranked Friars on Saturday. Changing gears to the Diamond, the Seton Hall baseball team traveled to Texas for the Sugarland Classic this past weekend. Seton Hall went 2-1 in a 3-day span, defeating Houston Christian 7-4 and New Mexico State 9-3. Yadier Hernandez had a huge impact in the first contest, going 2 for 2 with at-bats with 2 RBIs and 2 walks. In the second win of the weekend, the starting pitcher Cole Haston won his first collegiate game for Seton Hall. The team will be back in action this Friday in the first game of the 4-game series against California Baptist in Riverside, California. That will do it for your Seton Hall sports update. I'm Graham Marshman. Now back to Chris and Ava at the desk with more of your news need to know.
Thanks, Graham. In New York, a pair of twins named valedictorian and salutatorian are headed to Yale. Gloria and Victoria Guerriere are graduating at the top of their class at West Hampstead Secondary School, where they never earned lower than a perfect 100 on their transcripts. Earning a 105.3 and 104.9 GPA respectively, the two have excelled outside of the classroom as well, achieving athletic feats in track, cross country, and volleyball, and co-authored a research presentation on how disposable masks are not biodegradable and instead created their own cost-effective ones to take its place and give students who may not be as athletic as some venues to be successful.
Construction workers performing maintenance on a Jersey Shore bridge on Friday helped a distressed kayaker in the water before first responders arrived. Randolph Fizen and Charles Baldwin of IEW Construction Group were working on the Stanley J. Tunney Bridge in Toms River when they spotted an overturned kayak in the Barnegat Bay and heard a man yelling for help, officials said. They threw him a life vest and life ring holding on the other end of the rope as they waited for emergency personnel to arrive, according to the authorities. Police, firefighters, and EMS responded shortly after 4 p.m. and used a boat to pull the victim out of the water. Temperatures on Friday were between 35 and 56 degrees, according to the National Weather Service. The Toms River Police Department did not say what the condition of the victim was.
A federal program meant to reduce homelessness has made its way into the cities of New Jersey. Through House America, a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development program launched in September 2021, 5,000 new affordable housing units are aiming to address the nation's homelessness crisis. Cities like Jersey City and Newark, two cities with some of the highest percentage of homelessness people in the state, are exceeding their goals and have begun serving the blueprint to target chronic homeless across the country.
When a devastating disease wiped out New Jersey farmers' basil fields, growers turned to Rutgers scientists for help. Now, the public will be able to follow the unique partnership between local farmers and Rutgers in Fields of Devotion, a science in action film and the winner of the Best Climate Film Award from the New York Science and Nature Film Festival. Fields of Devotion provides audiences the ability to experience the detailed science developing disease and climate change-resistant food crops. The film spotlights the detailed work of Rutgers plant geneticists isolating genes for the disease resistance in commercial basil, a high-profit crop that small family farmers depend on. The first campus screening of the film on March 3rd will be followed by a panel discussion and networking reception for farmers and scientists.
Now we'll send it over to Cloe Borgognoni with your 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. Chloe?
Thanks, Ava. Hi, I'm Cloe Borgognoni with your 5-day weather forecast for the South Orange area. Today, expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 43 and a low of 30. There will be some light rains tomorrow in the forecast as a high of 57 and a low of 32. South Orange is in for a winter mix on Friday with a high of 43 and a low of 38. That winter mix is going to continue to Saturday with a high of 51 and a low of 34. Leave those umbrellas at home on Sunday. We're going to just have partly cloudy skies with a high of 46 and a low of 31. Well, that'll wrap up your 5-day weather forecast. Once again, I'm Cloe Borgognoni. Now back to Chris and Ava for more news you need to know.
A wooden boat crowded with migrants smashed into the rocky reefs off the Italian coast and broke apart before dawn Sunday. Rescuers recovered nearly 60 bodies and dozens more people were missing in the rough waters. Officials fear the death toll could top 100 since some survivors indicated the boat had as many as 200 passengers when it set out from Turkey, according to the UN refugee and migration agencies. At least 80 people were found alive, including some who reached the shore after the shipwreck just off Calabria's coastline along the Ionian Sea, according to the Italian Coast Guard. Many of the survivors, wrapped in blankets and quilts, were taken by bus to a temporary shelter. State media said 22 survivors were taken to a hospital. Italian President Sergio Mattarella called on the European Union to, quote, finally concretely assume the responsibility of managing the migratory phenomenon, to remove it from the traffickers of human beings. He said the EU should support development in countries where young people who see no future decide to risk dangerous sea journeys.
The Supreme Court will hear arguments today on President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, kicking off a process that will impact millions of Americans. President Biden planned to eliminate up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt for most borrowers, but the legal challenges have halted any relief for the 26 million people who have applied. Challengers, including 6 Republican-led states, call it an abuse of executive authority and criticize loan forgiveness as a handout to well-off college graduates. Due to the conservative majority of the Supreme Court, the relief plan stands to face tough odds. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Pirate News. I'm Ava Graves.
And I'm Chrisotpher Benitez. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a great day.